Okay, I'm back, and so now we want to talk about how does a river change as it flows upstream to downstream. So upstream in the mountains, downstream in the plains, where it comes out of the mountains. What are some things that are going to change about it? So see if you can read this chart and interpret what it's trying to say. As you go from upstream to downstream, what happens to the discharge? So the discharge was the letter Q, and it was equal to the volume of the water divided by the amount of time it took it to move in. So this is going to be the volume flow rate of the river. And according to the chart, it increases. So that's because as you're going down, going from upstream to downstream, there's going to be more tributaries emptying into the river. And each of those tributaries is going to have their own volume flow rates, so it's all going to add together. Okay, what's the next one? Is going to be the channel width. So the size of the river is going to increase the width of the river, and you can see the depth is also going to increase because it's having to carry more water because the discharge has increased. Okay, then the velocity. So what's happening to the velocity? Well, we found out that the volume flow rate could also be written as the cross-sectional area multiplied by the speed of the river. So that if the discharge is increasing and the area is increasing, it's going to increase the speed of the river. And then the last one there is, what about the load? So how much material can the river carry? And that is also going to increase. So the more water the river is carrying, the more materials it can carry. But look at those last ones there. So the next one is the load particle size, and that one decreases. So when it's up in the mountains, the river has enough force to be able to carry pebbles and boulders, but when it's in a river and it's on the plains, then you notice that it's mostly just carrying silt and sand along with it. Okay, the next one is going to be the channel roughness, and that decreases. So when it's in the mountains, the river is flowing over boulders and rocks, which are very rough, but by the time it gets down to the plains, it has deposited sediment, and so therefore, as the water flows over that sediment, it's not so rough. Okay, and then the final one is, what about the slope? Well, that's obviously going to decrease. So when you're in the mountains, it's very steep, but then when you get to the plains, it levels out. And so now there isn't as much of a slope when you're out of the mountains area. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, let's talk about what a graded stream is.